Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 5 of our English 3010 online course. In this video, I just want to do a quick overview of this week's assignments and do like a couple light housekeeping things. Because what I want to do is for our mini lesson, I want to take some time to really talk through the transition between Projects 1 and Project 2. You guys just finished Project 1, and I'm so proud of everyone. You guys really pulled it together and got everything turned in. And now we're going to be transitioning into Project 2, which is going to build on much of what we did in Project 1, but also sort of narrow the focus. But more on that in this week's mini lesson video. Here, I'm going to take a moment and switch over to our Canvas view to talk through this week's assignments. Okay, so here we are in our Canvas site, and I'm going to pause right here to do a couple quick housekeeping things because we have announcements that post right here at the top of the page, and you can see that we have 2 announcements here from your peer mentors, Avantika and Mubashir. I need to first of all say that I have apologized to Mubashir for mispronouncing his name in last week's email, but now I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, so apologies for anyone who was following my lead from the video last week. And thank you, Mubashir, for being patient with me. But you'll see that your 2 peer mentors have announcements up here for you. Avantika is holding open office hours today. Mubashir is holding office hours on Friday. So they are trying to kind of situate themselves on opposite ends of the week to hopefully sort of cover all the bases for everyone's availability. Thank you to our peer mentors for being available. Also, fairly shortly, Avantika is going to be posting some apps and platforms that might be useful resources for Project 2. So keep your eyes peeled for that post. Good grief, I need some coffee. All right, let's look down here at our week 5 overview, shall we? So week 5, the week before Valentine's Day. This week we're focusing on reading, and annotating for our research purposes. And in this week's mini lesson video, I'll be talking about what that means and how we're transitioning from Project 1 to Project 2 in terms of research. But the main thing we're going to be working on this week is the use of Cornell Notes, just to keep track of, to prepare, and help us synthesize texts. So if you know how to do Cornell Notes, and if you do them fairly easily or well, great. This should be a slice of pie. And if you don't know what that even is, don't worry, you're going to learn about it this week. So in terms of watching, you're going to watch your mini lesson video, watch this week's video, which you're already doing. High five. You're going to read, basically just sort of reviewing things, and there's 3 quick readings this week that are talking about like sort of broad strokes secondary research stuff, which is what we're jumping into here with Project 2. And then for this week, you're going to do a quick reading discussion in your small groups, and you're going to do Project Builder 4, which is going to be Cornell Notes on 3 sources. So I'll talk more about that in a second, but the overview for the week should look something like this. You want to good grief, you want to watch 5 video. I definitely need more coffee. You want to probably get most of your readings out of the way by midweek, if not by Friday. Taking notes on your readings, participating in that discussion as early as you can so that the conversation can perpetuate over several days. Remember, if you're participating on Sunday, it's probably too late. So try to get your participation in, especially for that discussion, by no later than Friday, so that your group can actually have a conversation, right? And actually exchange ideas. And then Sunday, your Project Builder 4 will be due. Now, what is Project Builder 4? I'm glad you asked. Let's look at it together. So for Project Builder 4, you guys are going to be doing what are called Cornell notes. Now, if you don't know what Cornell notes are, there's an example of them here. Basically, these are different from annotated bibliographies in that the annotations get really specific. And you can take Cornell notes as you're reading. So usually with an annotated bibliography, if you guys remember from Project 1, we've got the works cited entry up here, and then more or less a summary of the source beneath the entry. Cornell notes kind of explode that idea into like all the possible notes you could ever take in one place. You get your citation up here. Some people take Cornell notes even on like class lectures or other sorts of presentations. For us, we're doing it mainly with readings, with secondary sources. So whereas you might have like subheadings up here in a lecture situation, you might just, I want the works cited entry, because if you're creating your works cited entry now, then it's going to be so much easier to create your bibliography for, say, your literature review later. Notes from reading. This is just the best note-taking strategy that makes the most sense for you. So here you have like a typical outline style. You could use symbols, you could use more of a bullet journal style. It's totally up to you, but taking notes on the content of the reading. So this big section is the what. What is in this source? Over here, this is like the what do I do with it column. This is your reflection column where you're either making notes about, hey, this is the general main point, key terms, so like vocab terms. Sometimes you might need to be putting questions over here or connections. I love to write C period, F period, or CF period, which stands for cross-reference, and if I'm making a connection to another author. And then down here, a summary of that source. If you want more information on what Cornell notes are and how to do them, this link right here is going to take you to Cornell University's website where you can read the Cornell note-taking system. And more than that, there's a couple of cool videos here that really just get to like straight from the source. What are Cornell notes? Why would you use them? So if you want a little more information, you can check that out here. Now, these entries that you're going to do, so you'll see that I'm asking for, where do I say it? 3, I'm asking for 3 or more entries. Now, you have some sources that you collected for Project 1. Here, I want you to incorporate 1 to 2 new sources, because what we're trying to do here is really shift to hone in on one specific research topic. So if 1 or 2 sources from your Project 1 annotated bibliography are really interesting to you and they kind of center around a topic that you might want to investigate for the next 2 projects, you can go ahead and explode your annotations into a Cornell style note entry. But you need at least 1 new source, okay? Because we're trying to really narrow down. Now, these entries are reflective in nature. These are going to help you sort your pulling together a potential list of sources for an extensive literature review, which is what we're going to be working on in Project 3. So you want to be strategic about not just which sources you choose, but what you write down. The more thorough and specific your notes are, the more helpful they're going to be for you when we get to Project 3. Now, if you want, there's a template here, which is just like a Word doc that's already sort of divided up for you, but you can create this structure any way that you choose. This is a 30-point project builder, and you just got to upload your file. So it can just be a Word doc. That's probably the easiest way to do it in terms of like getting everything formatted. But you can choose the digital platform. Okay. So I think that's all I was going to talk to you guys about. I'm going to pull back to our full view and close out this weekly video. Right. Okay. So I hope that everyone's hanging in there. I know midterms are coming up, so I'm sure that we're all bracing ourselves for that. It's February, it's winter, everything's really snowy. I did read somewhere that last week was officially halfway between winter solstice and summer solstice. So we're now more than halfway to summer solstice and warm weather and just more daylight in general. So I hope that you guys can take heart wherever you're at this week. Just know that I'm really proud of you. You guys are doing a really excellent job in really tough conditions. I mean, I know this pandemic's been going on for a while, and you guys are definitely showing what Wayne State students are made of, because you guys have been tenacious and persistent and really engaged in this course so far, and I'm really proud of you for that. So keep up the good work. And of course, if you have any questions about anything that I talked about in this week's video, don't hesitate to email me or your peer mentors. Just one quick thing to say, I should apologize for being a little behind in responding to emails this weekend. I appreciate your patience as I, just like most of you, am juggling lots of things, working from home and, all sorts of other things that have to get thrown in there. So again, I apologize if I wasn't able to get back with you this past weekend, but still feel free to email me, even if if you need to reiterate a question that I haven't quite answered yet. I promise I'm getting to them. I'm going to be catching up on emails for the rest of today. So have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye, everybody.